So our next question is, what do you think some of the common mistakes that new recruitment consultants should be aware of, and how can they avoid them?
Depending on the personality of the person, okay, the biggest mistake anyone can make is that they think they know everything. Yeah, and especially when you're younger, most people, they think they know better than everyone else. I can share you stories, and I'm sure you must have stories about your own personal behavior with your own parents, for instance. Our parents are there to help you and support you, and to sort of to guide us into a life which is going to be easy and easy for us, really. But we always reject whatever they say. And the reason why we do this is because we think we know everything. So what that teaches me is that some people, I've also noticed, they have to go through their own experiences of life, and they have to be knocked around a little bit in order to come to a point where they appreciate this. And other people, I find, that they know and they are willing to learn and listen, and they always stand a better chance of success at a quicker pace. So something I've touched upon before, the requirement of a coach, the need to have a coach, to be able to listen to people. So when someone goes into a new industry, as I've mentioned, you need to be familiar with the industry. Now, taking and the organization and so many other things about the job, it's like driving a car. An example which I've used many times, but I'll just let you know now. When you're first learning how to drive a car, you are concentrating on many different factors. How do I control the steering wheel? I have to concentrate on the road. I have to think about the clutch, I have to think about the brake, I have to think about the accelerator pedal, the gear stick, I have to change all of. So all of these things, it's overwhelming. You're thinking, how am I going to do this? Impossible. I will not be able to do this. As a human being, one person, two hands, how am I going to do all of these things? But then you get to a point where you know all of these things, and it's done very easily without even any thought. So in the same way, I had to go to a driving instructor who has the ability, who was my coach, who taught me how to actually learn this. So I went in feeling very fearful and thinking almost after the first lesson, it's impossible. I don't know how everyone else does it. I don't think I'm built to drive. Okay, so we feel this way. So when you go into any new job, you will feel like this sometimes, unless you're really cocky, and as I've mentioned, you know it all. You're going to get knocked in the wrong way, unfortunately, and before you know it, you're going to be hurt emotionally to the point where you may not be able to regain your composure again, unfortunately. So you have to be very careful when you have that kind of an attitude. My suggestion is, if you go into an industry, you have to do your own research, as I've mentioned. However, doing your own research takes X amount of time. Okay, whether we like it or not, as a human being, we know we can only soak in so much information, and only so much of that information will remain with us in our body, because in our brain, because a lot of this information will be forgotten. So what do you need? You would hope, and you should always pray to have a good manager, because they don't always come easily. Okay, a good manager, we think every company should have a good manager, but in reality, it's very rare to have a good manager. And a good manager is somebody who really understands you, who will take you under their wings and basically try and improve you and help you and motivate you and drive you to be better. It's very rare, very, very rare that this actually happens in the real world. We talk about it, there's a lot of things which, it sounds cute, so you talk about it, you say this, but in reality, it doesn't happen in the real work environment. So my suggestion has always been, find a mentor. Okay, if there's first your manager could be a mentor, but unfortunately, even if he or she is a good manager, they have maybe 20 other people that they need to manage, maybe 200 other people that they need to manage. If they have the time, they may be able to mentor you. So at the best thing that they can possibly do is basically give you advice on an ad hoc basis, which you need to take in and you need to basically build on that advice. So if they say ABC, you go and do your own research on, D, E, F, and whatever comes after that. Okay, you need to take that on. That little bit of advice that good manager has given you, take that on. But the more permanent thing to do is to have a little bit more permanency in terms of having someone who is a coach, who is a mentor, whatever you want to call them, but this is what they are. I've had many people in my life who have helped me, advised me. I didn't even know the term mentor. Okay, I'd never used the term mentor. I call those people my supporters. Okay, but now I really think about it, these people were actually, starting from my father, who's my mentor, he gave me advice. Okay, and then the second person, again, I never ever referred to him as a mentor. My first business partner, I consider him to be an older brother, but he is actually a mentor. He has taught me so many things, things from how to behave with other people, how to, even how do I conduct myself at a dinner table. You might think I was an animal at some point, but that's not the case. It's about etiquettes, about how do you present yourself in certain situations and circumstances. And these are the little delicate things that we don't know all the time, okay? And these are the things that he has taught me.